All right. Well, welcome everybody to Just Move. This is the podcast where action meets ambition. So I'm your host, Cody Robinson, and today I actually joined with my good friend, Josh Minton. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good.
I love that tagline, by the way.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna evolve over time, but the ultimate goal I think behind this podcast is really to bring people on that I'm close to and that people are really trying to push hard in their industry. So I'm excited about this. So, all right, so your background, again, taking it away from overly formal, let's just do the friend thing here. So
Yeah.
your background, you've been in insurance for quite a while with HQ Insurance. You co-founded Connect Nashville, which is a huge network all over Tennessee for business owners and entrepreneurs, founder of Business Connections. And then some of y'all may know he is also the co-founder of our fun company called Very Good Shirts, which we're behind on. Not going to lie. We're behind on some of the releases for this year, but we're prompting it here.
It's
Yeah,
arguably the most important thing that we've found it.
yeah.
So, yeah,
The
yeah.
t-shirt thing is definitely the funnest. So I'm excited to kind of elaborate more on how that came about for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, awesome. So let's see. I'll let you take it away a little bit if you're open for it. Well, first, do people still classify you as a unicorn when it comes to like
I am a
being a
Nashville
national?
native. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah. Born and raised here. Actually, the first house I ever lived in is across the street from the house I own. Um, so it's kind of maybe a little bit more of a unicorn than normal, but yeah.
deep. Well, I'm surprised we hadn't made that shirt yet. Actually, an actual
Yeah.
unicorn shirt. Makes
Ooh,
lots.
yeah. That next shirt. Yeah.
Actually, tens of dollars.
Everybody check our link in the comments later. No, I'm just kidding.
Leave it to Melissa. She'll make it pretty quick. So
That's what I'm talking about.
awesome. So for the entrepreneur front, as far as like you basically being your own boss, how did you get into insurance to begin with? Because I know it's an industry that people don't just wake up, as a 5-year-old and be like, I want to be an insurance agent.
Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be an insurance agent. So, no, so I was actually managing Hertz Rental Car for a long time, and had been recruited by Liberty Mutual a few times, and just was like, I don't want to be an insurance agent. That doesn't sound like fun. And then started hitting the ceiling. It hurts, and got to a point where I was like, I need to look for something outside of this.
Yeah.
And so finally went on the interview with Liberty, and actually was blown away by just the industry and the way that everything works. And so jumped in there.
Yeah.
And that was in 2015. And then in 2019, I started at HQ as a broker, insurance broker.
Right. And we've done several deals together, not just personal, but other business stuff. So I appreciate it. What
Yeah,
about the neighborhood boring insurance agent? Is that something that's going to resurface, or is
it
it?
is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm actually working with a few people to come up with some ideas right now. Really excited to get that going back up again.
That was, yeah, I think it's awesome. So what prompted that? I know when it started, but I'm just what triggered you one day to like just have that personality?
Well, really, over time, you just hear people talking about like doing social media content for insurance, and everybody's like, it's too boring. Nobody wants to see insurance related content. And I remember over a long period of time, I was like, there's got to be something to that. Like, there's got to be something to the boringness of insurance and like making it funny and engaging. And then I met Gina, Gina, who helped me with some ideas. And then we put some videos together, and they were pretty awesome. And so took a break from doing them for a minute, and trying to get that back up and running
Yeah,
here. So hopefully by the end of the year.
I had the opportunity to have a few cameos in those
Yep.
original videos. So,
Some of the best ones. Yep.
oh my gosh, and got a GIF and everything, all kinds of stuff out there. Where are those videos still found? Are they on your page or is it
Yeah.
his own page? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get them on my Facebook page. My LinkedIn has them all as well. And then we repurposed a bunch of them for Instagram Reels. So you can find them all on social. Yeah,
Yeah. It's nothing better, I think, than those videos for sure.
definitely. Definitely.
So you and I, we tend to sometimes gripe and complain about people's inability to network. So this is something that I think this is how you and I met. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember literally I moved up to Tennessee. I think well, COVID was still I think going on, wasn't it? Or was it prior to COVID? I don't remember.
I think it was as COVID was happening.
Yeah, it was like right before. That's right. And I was like, okay, I need to start getting back. I need to find me a home group. And I think I was on meetup.com or something. Not to be confused with a dating app. This is actually for groups of people to get together.
Well, there's
And
probably some dating on Meetup too, but yeah.
That's so true. No, I remember like I saw your face and I was just like, this guy looks cool. Literally, that's how I made the decision. And I walked straight up in and you were welcoming day one and immediately started connecting with people and a friendship developed pretty quickly, which was fun. So I don't think I've ever really asked you the origin of Connect Nashville. So obviously Business
Yeah.
Connection, it came later, right? Business
No,
Connection.
actually, business connections came first.
Okay. So this is why I was excited to have this interview because it's one of those things where like, forget to. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess what created that? Because I know you have your own frustration with how networking groups tend to operate.
Well, so I got into insurance, and every agent in my Liberty office were telling me that you have to find a BNI. You have to find a networking group to get referrals from. And funny enough, my brother-in-law at the time, he's a CPA, was a president of a BNI, and their insurance seat had just opened up. And I was like, these insurance seats never open. Agent was a Liberty Mutual agent. I was like, this is teed up. Like, let's make this happen.
Right.
Interviewed for it and then didn't get it. And it kind of spawned me to like, well, I'm just going to go create my own single seat group on like a BNI. And so put a post up on the Nextdoor app saying looking to start a single seat, potentially a BNI in this area. A couple people responded. And so we got together, started having like periodic meetings until we could figure out a structure. Then we figured out the structure, and I was like, well, I got to find a better way to recruit to this group. So I started a Wednesday morning coffee meeting in Brentwood, and then that turned into what is now Connect Nashville, and just kind of blew up on its own from there.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Got it. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think as we're thinking through like networking, I hit you with a couple of kind of various questions, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people that still don't understand how to do it. I'm not saying we don't have to turn this into a master class because it's because it's really, we could, honestly, we probably should. But even then, I think people try too hard. But like, what do you feel like are some of the biggest issues that people have when it comes to trying to network themselves and their business as they grow
well,
on?
first of all, I mean, it's a learning curve. Nobody naturally is born to like network and know it off right off the bat. I think a lot of the misconceptions is you're supposed to go to a meeting and you're supposed to get a referral every time you're at a meeting. And like that could definitely happen. But I think the mistake that people make is they're looking for that as opposed to looking to like, how can I help the people in this group or in this room? And because when you focus on like how you can help the room at some point responds and tries to figure out how they can help you. So if you have that mentality of, I'm here to make connections, I'm here to meet other people and help other people, it's all gonna come around. But I think so many people are focused on, well, I didn't get a referral off that group, so I'm not going to go back. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what did you give to the group?
Yeah.
Like, don't expect anything in return until you've given something. So I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. But honestly, if you're not into networking, if you've never like gone to networking groups before, like you don't know. So I think there's a lot of just like sticking it out, figuring out how you work within the group and going from there.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it. Here in a second, I'm going to flip on you. So the whole reason for the podcast is to brag, and so give you an opportunity to brag on yourself and how you run your insurance business and things like that. But I think I personally, I think people get it mixed up is when you tell people like give it time. It might take several months or 6 months to a year. I think what people hear and they perceive is like I got to keep handing out my business card for 6 months until somebody actually gives me business, and like that is not what we're talking
No.
about. What we're talking about is you got to have that much time to build a trust factor in a relationship with other people and to give more than you can get. And I know you firmly believe it. It's what frustrates us all the time with the fact that people just come like they'll hand you a card before they shake your hand. I mean, I did a conversation, I did a talk to a chamber of commerce this week, and the last thing I gave anybody was my business card before they left, or I was digital. I made them give me mine. But like
Yeah,
the ones that come up and shook my hand first stuck out a lot more than the ones that were like, here's my card. Call me on Monday.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I
What do you
actually sometimes like won't even bring my cards with me to
Yeah,
networking
I
meetings
don't either.
because like, no, like I'm here to get to know you. Like I don't want you to just take my card and call me and try to sell me in
Yeah,
a couple days. Like,
yeah,
so I think and then like most of the time when I forget them, it's mainly because I just left them at home. But there are times where it's like, hey, like people are too quick to hand out cards, and it's like cool, I want to collect a lot of business cards, but like that's not doing anything for me at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah. What if we say you believe in it? I mean, how do you feel like it's impacted your business, and I'll say one more thing because you asked one question, then I asked two or three more.
Yeah.
But if you're anybody that's watching this, if you're listening to it, you can't see, but like Josh rarely walks up into a room with a suit and tie on, and because insurance
while.
to be that serious, as far as like it is serious, but the fact that I love doing business with you and referring people over to you is because you're yourself, and being genuine, I think, is what people really want. So I don't know if you want to lean into that or if you just want to share how
Yeah.
you've seen networking help your business, but
Well, I
obviously
think,
big component.
yeah, well, I think like what you were saying there is pretty. There's another like thing that early on people don't really understand is like you don't have to show up in a suit and tie. Like who you are, get to know people and connect. The best way to go. And like if I used to wear a tie every day and like I'm okay with doing it, but also at the end of the day, it's not me if I'm doing that all the time. And so I try to keep it as real to who I am as I can. But yeah, I mean, networking, like I'll say just off Connect Nashville and business connections alone, I'd say 80% of my book of business has come from connections or from people in those networking worlds. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been massive for my, and like I wouldn't probably still wouldn't be an insurance agent if it wasn't for like business connections and Connect Nashville.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, and you've always believed in it. Okay, so business
Yeah,
connections, it's single C, spun off of the idea, kind of a foundational concept of BNI. So a lot of people know about that kind of concept. You might be looking for some seats right now, but on Connect is a different animal though. Like Connect Nashville,
totally different animal.
I honestly I've seen it morph, but if there's people in the Tennessee area that hasn't been able to attend any meetings, I'm just going to open it up to you. Tell me what you think about the surprise factor that it's grown into something kind of outrageous now, and that you're
Yeah,
in hometown bars, like whatever do you want to go, like just
yeah.
tell us where it's come from and where it's
Well,
going.
I mean, it really all came from just like needing to meet new people and getting out there. And so the Connect Nashville kind of model is we're free networking meetings. We have 9 different meetings all over Middle Tennessee during the week, and then we have happy hours probably every 4 to 6 weeks, and we rotate all over Middle Tennessee. And the idea really was we're not worried about making money and people getting rich off networking. What we're worried about is helping people connect and go from there. And so that's why we decided to keep just about everything free. Just because we don't want people to feel like, well, I can't go to that group, so I don't have $30 this week, or things like that. And so I think that's been very helpful in exploding. But then we brought on Samantha Vandekamp with BDK Digital as an owner to really push our social media game because at the time Tony Bostic and I were just like figuring out how social media works, and I would spend hours Googling like what post to put in a group to get people to engage. And I was like, no, I need somebody that already knows what they're doing. And we met Samantha in probably one of the best marketing brains I've ever met when it comes to how to market so many different types of businesses and how to reach the public. And so when she came on, our social media just blew up, and we went from like I think 1,700 people in the group, and a year later we had like 10,000, and now we're up to 17,000. So it's and we curate that like it's not like a normal Facebook group where they just let everybody in. Like you have to answer specific questions. We want to know you're in Middle Tennessee or can do work in Middle Tennessee, and kind of go from there. So yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. I know you'll have like sponsorships and stuff now if people
yeah.
do want to leverage the extension on that. I mean, is that something you want to elaborate on or not really? I mean, just
Yeah. So we have preferred membership options, and like you can sponsor happy hours. Like for instance, our happy hours, every time we run one, we take all the money we get off sponsorships to run ads and events and stuff for the happy hour. And so our sponsors and our business and the happy hour will get 40,000 to 50,000 views. And so getting a lot of views on people like for our business owners that are sponsors and things like that. And that's how we get, 200 plus people at a happy hour, is because, Samantha knows how to run ads and make it very effective. And that's what really helped us blow up.
yeah, they're fun to go to if y'all are in. Yeah, if anybody's listening or watching, if you're in Middle Tennessee, definitely hit up some of the Connect events. I mean, you'll some of the greatest people that you'll ever meet. I miss them, being back in Birmingham, but I need to bump up. I need to at least get on the virtual ones on Fridays.
Yeah. Anytime,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, I got a random question. It's not a hard
Yeah.
one, but what is
Okay.
it like being a pseudo celebrity of Middle Tennessee now? I mean, there's probably hundreds of people that have your face, on front of their shirt, or there's some kind of connection. Like there's what is it, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's more like, 5 degrees from Josh Minton now when it
What?
comes.
Like, it's like 150 degrees between jobs. Yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't. That's a weird thing to say that that's the case. I don't
Yeah,
feel like
you're home.
honestly, like,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
home. That's why I wanted to ask.
Well, it honestly, it's weird with people because my face is on a lot of the events because I create a lot of the events, and things like that. And so it's weird when people come up and like say, hey, saw you on the event, which honestly I love mainly because it helps warm up a new meeting to people. Like it's intimidating to walk into a networking group like where you don't know anybody in the room. So if it helps those people warm up, like at least I'm going to know who that guy is. I think that's the benefit to it all. Not necessarily me being cool and a celebrity, more of like making other people feel comfortable.
Well, that's great. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Again, what a humble answer, like, the fact that what's helping me help more people,
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie, though. I mean, it's one of my biggest flexes in life to say that, I can just call you whenever I want.
Do it,
Yeah.
man. Anytime.
75% of the time you answer. But that's if not your call, you'll text me back. I'm fixing a claim. I've got a claim coming. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, man.
I've got T-shirt ideas popping in my head right and left right now, which I want to ship that here in a second. But I feel now's probably a good time to talk about. So you're doing American Cancer Society. You're doing that
Yep.
again. Okay. So
Yep.
yeah, good time to kind of spread that a little bit about how you got recruited into it. You did it last year and did such a great job of supporting the cause that they wanted you to do it again this year. But just thought I'd open that up to you. However you want to kind
Yeah.
of chat about it.
Well, I mean, I'm honored to be an honoree for the American Cancer Society's Discovery Bowl. And so with that, like last year, their event that I did with them was called the Best Dress Back. And we raised money for families here in Middle Tennessee, supporting the Hope Lodge, which is, a place to stay for families coming in town for treatment, things like that. And we were able to raise, like me and my team were able to raise about $12,000 for the American Cancer Society last year. And so they called again this year and asked if I'd be interested in doing it again. And I told them, I'll figure out how to make the time. Let's make it happen and just, support more families. And so it was a no-brainer to jump on. I've done a lot of work in the past with Camp Horizon. It's a local camp for children with cancer. And when you get into those worlds and you're working with these families and these kids, it's tough not to want to support, even if you don't really have the time. It's tough to not want to be involved. So that's why I jumped in again this year. About to really ramp up the fundraising here in the next couple of days. The goal, we're trying to raise $5,000 for the American Cancer Society by November 2nd. So the deadline's coming, so we got to start pushing it.
Yeah, makes sense. Where do people need to go for kind of contributing to that? Do you
Yeah,
have a direct?
go to joshmintoninsurance.com/donate.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's my ACS website. It'll take you right there where you can donate right on that page. And if any business owners want to become sponsors, you can do that too, and get your name and your business info out in front of their audience and the people that are going to be at the Discovery Ball, and the late party and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got to go
Yeah,
last year. We're going to do our best to get up there this year for it. And yeah, kind of help spread the
yeah,
word on the contribution part. So
appreciate that.
grateful for that. Yeah, I know our hearts are in a lot of places with how we try to help different charities and things like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see.
Yeah,
Again, I've got all these different questions, but I got some other things that I think is probably going to be more impressive to people. If you want to, let's kick it back to insurance. You right now. I don't think a lot of people realize I guess what intrigues you about insurance. I feel like people over the last few years since I've known you. Again, here's my question with more keep talking, so I apologize. Well, like since I've known you, people have always they love your personality, and they're like, "Why haven't you thought about doing this? Why haven't you been like a beer rep? Why?" And even I try to push you to do that. Like, but you've protected it. I think there's a value there that I don't. A lot of people don't realize why you care so much about it. And there's probably a lot of backstories that I don't realize of how you've helped people. But that's my question to you. Like, what actually excites you about insurance, like in general?
man. It's really just helping the community. I mean, you're an insurance agent to be a part of the community and serve your community. And as being a Nashville native, I've got a passion for the Middle Tennessee area, and Tennessee just in general. And so it's very satisfying when you can put people in the right spot for them. And then also when they have a bad day and something bad has happened, you're there to support them, whether it's, questions on what they should do, or let's say they need to file a claim, things like that. Like you're there to help. And so
Yeah.
I like being the person who can help you when you're dealing with some bad situations, or at least being there for you. And so
Yeah.
insurance kind of gives you that.
Yeah.
But it also allows you a lot of avenues to go and do other things like these fundraisers, like, and things like that. So like it kind of the best of both worlds in that scenario.
No, it makes sense. I don't think I really thought about that much because even I've had to lean on you too late of an hour, asking questions. And like you never once, push people off or kind of delay it. It's like, yeah, if somebody needs help, like you're always willing to help. And I mean, it speaks volumes. But I didn't really think about that. Yeah, you always have such a calm demeanor, no matter really what the situation is. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, I was the fact that, we were over in Scotland and I was, having to get your help with an insurance deal for a home I was trying to, close
Oh
on.
yeah.
And we were in a different time frame difference, and you still were willing to jump on and help expedite some things, to get the coverage for the home buyer. And it was just, I don't know, it's always impressed me how you're willing to do it, knowing that you have so many phone calls, texts, meetings, going on, but still to handle those claims. I don't think people give you enough kudos and respect. The fact that that's why you're so busy is because you're
Yeah.
not shaking hands. You're literally trying to help people, with bad things happen at the same
Oh yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bad things are always going to happen. So if you can be there to help set the right things in motion, that's the goal. That's where the good feeling comes from, is when you
Yeah.
can help people.
Are there any stories or any examples that pop out to your head that's almost like, wow, I can't believe I had the opportunity to like actually help somebody in that kind of emergent situation? Or I'm sure you have a few stories, but I don't know if any sticks out in your head as far as like one that's like, man, I was glad I was able to help that person.
Yeah. Well, we actually had this isn't like a crazy deal or anything, but it was a first time home buyer looking to buy in Kentucky. And they needed to figure out if they could put an offer in on a home on Saturday. I answered the phone, got the quote done, got them all over, got everything over to them so they could figure out if they're going to put an offer in or not. And so the little things like that, when it's the weekend, everybody wants to relax on the weekend, do their thing, but every now and again, you really got to help somebody that can't wait. And so if I'm available, like, let's go, I'll do it. But, and then other situations, like insurance can be like a puzzle to a degree, like you're finding out what their needs are, then what you can offer from all the carriers that we've got, and kind of put the puzzle pieces together to find the right fit. So every scenario is interesting and fun because everybody's got a different lifestyle. Everybody's got, different assets to protect, things like that. And so it's tough to really pull one crazy one or anything like that. I'd say just being able to help people out when they're not expecting it. Like she's like, I can't believe you answered on the phone on a Saturday. It's like, well, I'm around. Like I'll help if I can.
Yeah,
Like little things like that make it really the bigger deals.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as all your coverage stuff, and like, is there anything that sticks out that people may not realize that you can write insurance coverage for? Like the Tesla thing a few years back was kind of a surprise for me, but I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple great carriers when it comes to Teslas, like you're talking about there. So, typically if you're a Tesla owner and we shop, we typically find you a better price for really good coverage, things like that. And we can do anything as a broker. We've got carriers that just do Airbnbs. We've got carriers that will just work in the like vacant home space, like when you're flipping and things like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to help. I mean, and as an agency, like we can even do like event insurance, like if you're getting married and your venue requires an event policy, like we can do things like that. So
Yeah.
we can do just about anything. And then if I can't do it, I've got a big network of people that can. So we can go there.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this if you want to. So let's take
Yeah.
about 5 minutes or so. Let's shift to very good shirts.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
And after that, I might hit you with some kind of rapid fire questions, just some fun ones, kind of close
Okay.
things. It always highlights personalities. So I don't know. Do you want to start kind of how this concept come together? And we're just
Yeah.
trying to push you back out in the world, which is why, like you said, this is really why we're here, just talk about. Very
Yeah,
good shirt.
exactly. Talk about shirts. Yeah. For everybody that's behind the scenes, we do this like once every other week. Just get on a Zoom call and talk about funny shirt ideas. Nobody, so I mean, somebody would say, like when you were in the business connections group, somebody would say something and we'd look at each other and go, that should be a shirt. And like it happens so many times that we were like, why don't we just start a shirt company? And you being the entrepreneur you are, we went and got beers one day and literally while we're talking, set up a website, set up everything. I was like, holy crap, this is live. Like we have a business now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Um, but the best part is we had to sell the wives on it to make sure they were okay with it.
Right.
And so, which actually funny, even funnier with that has turned into if we have a funny T-shirt idea, we make sure the wives think it's funny before we move forward with it. Because
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
think it's funny, then but it didn't take long for them to jump on board with it.
Well, it's
Which
funny
cracked.
because, well, yeah, because for one, anytime you and I get together, they're just, only the eye rolls start pretty quickly. They're just like,
Yeah.
gosh, what are you going to get into? And I remember the pushback in the beginning, and that was kind of the what sealed the deal. They were like, all right, well, if you're going to release one, you've got to run it by us because we frankly think every single one of them is funny. And so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very good. Verygoodshirts.com, or is it? Yeah.
Yep. VeryGoodShirts.com.
Yeah. And to be frank, and me moving back to Birmingham and all the things going on, we haven't been able to push it as much we would really like to. But when we first started it, and we still get people that talk about it and on a daily basis. I know this happens to you too, even down here. Like people always are like, man, I wish I had this T-shirt. And that's honestly one reason we created it was so if we wanted to create one. I mean, even Melissa like plays around. My wife, she plays around with it sometimes and pulls up her phone and creates a shirt in a matter of minutes. But I had it happen a few times this week. Like, and I've added it to a list just so anybody knows. Like, we have literally this running list of shirt ideas that just come out of the wazoo.
Oh, yeah. I think at one point we even chat GPT'd stuff, and then we were like, we don't need to do this. Stuff just keeps hitting us.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
Yeah.
You got a beer or two, it definitely becomes even easier.
Oh, yeah. Like I just had an idea for one right now. Based off our first one-to-one, we had a huge talk about Phil Dunphy and how we both. So my new shirt idea is Phil Dunphy is my spirit animal. Just in writing, plain, simple.
And any good realtor, or not even just realtor, insurance too. Like that makes so much sense to me.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite one we've come up with so far?
By far, Let's Go Sports Ball. I mean that's our flagship shirt.
Yeah.
I'm saying it like we've been a business and like have tons of shirts out there, but that was our first shirt that we put out there. It's our best seller. We made tens of dollars off that one with triple digit followers, crushing it. But I'd say that one's probably my favorite. And it really just got I think we talked about it. I was like, we got to figure out a way to do this because it's funny to me when people are like, I love sports. Let's go sports ball.
Y'all were kind of making fun of me. That's what the people don't realize.
A little bit too. Yeah. A little bit too.
I mean, initially it was kind of, because even though I've been a strength coach and trained athletes, like, sometimes I may not know players as much as you guys do, or like, I'm a little bit behind on trading, sometimes, or not trading, but if athletes are getting traded. And
yeah.
So it was
more
like
fantasy football.
Yeah. So, right. And then so far it's like, yeah, anyway, basically like kind of how Cody is sometimes. He just shows up. He's just happy to be there. But I mean, that shirt has made cameos in all kinds of different games.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious. The other one I think that was kind of catching trend out of the gate was 20. When did we do it? 2021 when we first started.
Something like that.
Yeah, but
that sounds right.
So the kind of the height of the real estate movement too, when everybody was getting homes for 2.5-3%. So I had to make a shirt that was just like real estate. Everybody's doing it, like, because it was true.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I was one of them. Which I still do it. But
that was probably our second best seller, is the real estate shirt.
Yeah. There's so many, and then we've got some seasonal ones that'll come out. But if you're listening to this, feel free to kind of send us some ideas. We're always looking for inspiration.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to look hard, because the way this world operates, it's pretty easy to find funny T-shirts ideas.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's jump in. Rapid fire questions. Should not be that rapid. What's your favorite? What's your favorite current Nashville restaurant at the moment? I know it's a hard one.
Man, okay. Probably Deacon's if I had to choose. It's a steakhouse downtown.
Yeah.
We went randomly a couple Christmases ago with our neighbors. We were supposed to go to a Christmas like hidden bar and got there and we are like, oh, this is cool, but let's go do something else.
Yeah.
And unbelievable. I mean, it's expensive, just like you'd expect,
Well,
but
yeah.
when you got a steak that's that thick
Yeah.
sitting there, it's like this is amazing. I love every bit of it. Yeah.
Let's see. What about that new? Did you have you started partnering with some new bars too downtown for Connect?
Yeah, so our next happy hour is Tuesday. Teddy's Tavern on Broadway actually reached out to us about hosting a happy hour with them. So it's a really cool spot. We were down there actually last Tuesday for the Weezer concert and got a drink beforehand.
Yeah.
And I love the location and the rooftop's really awesome. So excited about that for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought I remember you talking about that one for sure. Let's
yeah.
see, a couple more. What's the best networking advice you've ever received? You've ever received?
Oh man, probably focus on everybody else. Don't worry about what you're getting. Somebody gave me an idea once of set a goal every quarter for how many referrals you pass, not how many referrals you get. And I'm a very goal oriented person. I've got a goal in front of me. Like I do everything I can to hit it. And it changed my mentality on networking. It's like, okay, how can I find referrals for people? And then like clockwork, like it all started coming back to me. And like in our business connections group, like I probably passed more referrals than most of the group. Um, but I mean, like that's not to say anything negative about anybody else, but like I probably do. And it's mainly because I'm more excited to pass a referral than I am to get one. It's just you feel like you're helping other people when you do that. And you're helping two different people. You're helping your connection and you're helping your business partner and things like that. So I think that's the best advice I ever got was focus on the group, not yourself.
Makes sense to me. Honestly, that's what inspired me to start this podcast thing back up because it's like I love, just catching up with people that I care about, but it's now opportunity for me to send over a link and jump on and record this thing and get more exposure for, other people. So hopefully it, kind of helps drive more exposure to you and everything that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I appreciate sharing that bit of nugget knowledge. And it is true. And it's hard to do sometimes when you're fighting to grow your own business, but if you just trust that factor, it comes back. I mean, it's like the phrase of it comes back around. If you take
Oh
your
yeah. It all does if you're doing it for the right reasons.
right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Got random people popping in my head that don't do it for the right reason.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a whole separate podcast.
whole separate podcast. Yeah, which you and I have definitely talked about doing our own kind of podcast. So maybe we just do that randomly on kind
Yeah,
of this thing.
I'm in
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
So funniest moment we've had together that you can share publicly.
Man, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, a part of me just wants to go back to the fact that we created a business off funny t-shirt ideas. Like
Yeah, that was yeah.
that's like that wasn't like laugh out loud, like I can't stop laughing funny, but the fact that like it came from that should be on a shirt, that'd be really funny, or I'd buy that shirt, to now there's a website and we've made tens of dollars and have triple digit followers.
Yeah, I
Like
think
who saw that?
we definitely did. That needs to actually be a shirt at this point. The fact that we joke about the making tens of dollars off of the concept.
Yeah, we could just have like a thank you on the front and on the back for helping us make tens of dollars.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad we actually documented that too. I remember I just spun around and took a picture of you and stuck that on a shirt, and that was kind of the face of the business brand too, out of the gate.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? How did this just happen?
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is probably the last one, and we can kind of wrap this up. So I appreciate you
You can
being.
fire more off if you want. I don't care.
What's that?
You can fire more off if you want. I got time.
Yeah,
Whatever.
well, I don't know if you have time to read or listen to a lot of other podcasts, but is there any book that kind of pops into your head that's influenced you, or podcasts that you might recommend for other like entrepreneurs or people trying to grow their businesses?
Tell everybody that I meet at these meetings about the book. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my
You're
head
talking
now.
about the tree book. What's it called?
Oh,
The Giver.
man, The Go-Giver. Yeah.
The Giver. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That was always a good book. Yeah. Okay.
Always I tell everybody about it. I can't think of the name. But yeah, The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. I read that on a plane ride to Arizona, like right as I took the HQ job. Just like let's get some more professional development reading in and change my mentality when it comes to business. And it's because it's all about being a connector, giving before you get, a lot of real world examples of how to do that. And so I try to read it once a year at the beginning of the year just to kind of refresh and go from there. But I tell everybody, if you've never read it, read it, especially
Yeah.
if you're a business owner or entrepreneur. It's an easy read, and it's just mind blowing how relatable it is, but how much it can change your mentality.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I remember. I think when we first met each other, that's why I remembered. As soon as I said the book, that was the one you
Yeah.
wanted. So I highly recommend. Yeah, yeah, listen and read to that one.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great books out there. Not it's not to say that this is the only one to check out, but this is the one I would check out first
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, makes sense. I think for me it was the E Myth.
Oh, that's another good one.
That was a strong one for me because starting off as like a personal trainer, like it's definitely a service based like technician kind of job, and to start a business you have to move away from being the one that really always works in your business to working on your business, and how to have a vision and how to have balance and management. So it was really eye opener for me. And then the how to win friends and influence people is such a strong one because I think it was originally written in like the 20s.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you, but they've got some like more modern versions. Like back then, it was like examples of Rockefeller and like all the ones that have been dead for 100 years. But now they've got a more kind of modernized version that gives more examples of like people in the tech space, which is helpful. But
Yeah.
it's funny because that book, I don't know if you've ever read it, and it's been around for a long time, but it's a very selfish sounding title. But really, the ultimate takeaway is like how to talk to people and like how to really for them to be heard. Like again, you put all your attention on them. Like I've built so many relationships, and it just by like I still say this usually when I get off the phone for hang up somebody first. Is there anything I can do for you? Right now, at the moment, and it sticks with people because especially if you genuinely are asking to help. Some people just say it to like as a closer, but that was a big. What was nice is that's kind of how I operate already, but to have it reinforced by a book that's 100 years old
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of neat. As you read these books and then you start, if you get nerdy about it, you'll kind of learn that there's not a lot of new stuff under the sun. Oh, it's just repackaged when it comes to human nature and what tends to work when taking
Oh,
care of people.
yeah. Well, in different ways to look at stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you might be doing the same practices that you learned back in the 20s, but it's a different world, so it's a different way to handle those things now.
Yeah. Even with social media and like the what avenues and what how to interact on those. There's a lot of people that struggle with that. And when I gave the talk this week at the Mountain Brook Chamber, I think one person asked me like, how can I improve conversions from customers that are prospects that I'm trying to get? And I said, well, the biggest thing that I think that I shared was that like a lot of times people think that if you have a prospect in your pipeline that if you hadn't been able to get on their phone or if they haven't converted yet, that you think they don't want your services. 95% of the time, it's not that. It's like life gets in the way or they forget. I mean, we've had home fit clients that it took me 3 to 6 months to convert. But I didn't, I was explaining to her, I was like, you got to keep a pulse on when to reach out, but don't reach out and ask, hey, are you ready to sign up? Like just genuinely reach out and check on these people. Send them
Hmm.
something if you know their personality, if they're looking for something. Like actually give back to these people and just be connected so they're forefront of your mind. But then like I'd find out 3 to 6 months later that maybe a parent passed away or maybe they were chronically sick. Like met
Hmm.
son that's were go through surgery over cancer and now they're coming out of that. Now their fitness goals are different than it was prior to that. So I think my biggest takeaway is if somebody's trying to figure out how to convert clients, it's like just figure out a good strategy to stay in front of them, but
Hmm.
not wear them out. But just remember that a lot of times it's not that they don't want your services. And I know this happens to you all the time too. Like most people wait until it's too late or right before something is about to expire. It's always like,
Yeah.
but the fact that, take the time to give back to them and support them and help them in any way possible is why you're the forefront of their mind too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like I think with the social media piece of it, like talking about making it like converting more, like you have to look at it differently too. Like so much of your social media needs to be just brand awareness, and then a lot of it needs, and then a good portion of it needs to be like lead driven. But like, it's all different. It depends on the business you're in and how that works. I mean, as an insurance agent, I don't look to get leads directly from social. I use my social more as brand awareness and let leads come from that. But with the very good shirts business, that's lead gen. Just post about it and hope people buy.
Yeah. And they do. Yeah. Then once we and having fun with it, we always said that was the biggest thing, which is why it kind of maybe is flux a little bit from time to time. But like we always want it to be fun. If
Yeah.
it turns like the feeling of a business, or at least that's what I told you in the beginning. If this feels like it turns into a stressful concept, then we're doing something wrong.
And why business should be that way in general. I mean, like
Sure.
that's how I try to lead my insurance business, is like we're having fun while we're doing it. Because otherwise, if you're stressed out every day going to work, like you're not enjoying what you're doing. So
Yeah. That's a good point too. I mean, it's on the real estate front for me, and a lot of times I'm kind of apologetic, but I mean, this is my show, so I can talk about whatever I want to. So I'll also
you can
hit
say
that
you're
point.
sorry as many times as you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Melissa made me give her a nickel for every time I say sorry. But yeah, so talking about the fun factor, so some of y'all might be first time kind of learning more about kind of what I do. So I have a home fit business where we have, in-home personal trainers, yoga instructors, been around for a long time, work with some really amazing people, but then got into real estate, I think December 2019, right before COVID happened. And still sell residential real estate in Tennessee and in Alabama now, which is so I'm back and forth a decent amount. But the most recent thing, which I was running it by you and kind of picking your brain about it, and I'm excited to have you a part of it as we grow it out, is this new athlete and entertainer real estate group. So there's this collaborative of people that are collectively trying to really help serve, high profile, collegiate and professional athletes, and then singers and musicians. And people were asking me, it's such a very, tough niche for some people, but you have to understand that what the lifestyles of these, clients are. But secondarily, to being able to understand these clients, why wouldn't you want to work in that vein? Like, how fun is that? Like, it's already got people that connect with me to reach out. They're just like, what is this you're starting? Like, why are you starting it? It was like, why wouldn't you want to? I mean, I'm always happy to
Yeah.
help anybody. I'm going to treat anybody that reaches out to me with the same white glove kind of service as a luxury home buyer in that vein. But like, why not?
Yeah.
It's
Why not?
everybody needs help in some regard. And if you understand what they need and can have discretion to not let everybody know where somebody's about to move that has millions of followers, like that's a big deal. So I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it's just going to open up more doors and things like that.
Yeah. And it just helps people from a branding standpoint. It helps people kind of narrow down where you're at, and if it's something that sticks out versus like I'm just selling generic homes. Like the funniest question I get from a lot of people, even some family members, is, do you just sell luxury? And I know some people is like, oh, is that a crutch? And I'm like, no, I don't just sell luxury. Like, I'm happy to help any price point. Just know I've got resources better than some other ones because I am in the luxury vein to be able to promote your house and help you buy a house, but also I'm going to treat you with that kind of respect, that kind of
Yeah.
approach versus just showing up, unlocking doors, or, just putting it on MLS and crossing my fingers. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
Crossing your fingers. I love
yeah.
that.
Somebody buys, well, I guess I'll reduce my price because nobody bought. We didn't do anything. You just sat there and waited on it.
You put it online. Yeah.
Good for you.
Put
Congratulations.
it on the line.
All right. Well, anything else that you think is worth bringing up, or anything you want to ask me, and put me on a hot seat at all? I don't care. You don't have to. You're really good at this stuff.
Sometimes I can be good at that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some rapid fire questions to throw back at you.
You don't have to. It's no pressure.
All right. What is your favorite restaurant in Birmingham?
Ooh, Birmingham. Probably it's called Chez Fon Fon. That's Melissa's favorite, so I kind of default to that.
Wow.
It's more of a French style. Yeah, there you go. It's more of a French style restaurant, but people definitely are aware about it down here. Been around for
Okay.
several decades. So yeah.
What is the funniest moment you've had with Very Good Shirts so far?
Very good shirts. I do think I'd hate to default to the sports ball one, but it's just the fact that like there's still that underlying component to like, or you and Melissa are kind of making fun of me and Rachel. Boy, this is Cody's shirt. So I think that was funny. And then the fact that when Wendy, when she was in real estate, was part of the Birmingham Connections, not Birmingham, sorry, Business Connections, that she had actually bought the real estate everybody's doing it shirt. Like that was one of the funniest things to like put it out there. So I got one more. So my West Haven shirt that Melissa won't let me. Okay, I got to tell this story.
You do.
Just about the creation of it, but
This has to make the podcast too. You can't edit this out.
I'm just trying to think of. I got to make sure I have some discretion in how to cue this up. Actually, not. Screw it. We'll just
go.
So the reason Melissa, in case some of you don't know, and if you live in this neighborhood, please forgive me. But it's a beautiful community just outside of
unbelievable homes.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. I've had a chance to tour some specific to real estate, not what you're about to find out more about the kind of the hidden secrets potentially of this neighborhood. But West Haven, golf course, all this good stuff. But there's just been, stories told, or just people that believe, some probably can confirm more so than others, that it might be one of the swinger community pockets of Nashville, Tennessee. Well, I couldn't stand it. I had to make a shirt. So I created a West Haven shirt. It looks pretty similar to like the seaside ones or the ones you see from, 38 Coast. Really clean. There's a pineapple on it, which some equate that symbol to swinging. I'm not going to explain what swinging is. If you don't know, then you can look that up. Just be careful.
Google it. Yeah.
But I did not put the pineapple upside down. I just made it clean. I literally made that shirt in 5 minutes sitting at, what's the bagel place? Einstein's that we used to go meet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting at Einstein's, in 5 minutes I had it, and I had it ordered, and it showed up. And again, Melissa, she still don't let me to wear it out in public, knowing what it insinuates. We were down in Antigua, 2,000 miles from here. About to get on a boat with about 10 other people just to go around the island. And this couple, this husband and wife, was apprehensive. They kept looking at us kind of strangely. And I was like, is it the pineapple? What's throwing them off here? And we were about to get on the boat, so you had to get close proximity. But they were staying away from us. Come to find out, they asked where was West Haven. I said, well, it's Nashville. And they were like, Franklin? And we were like, yeah. I was like, but I quickly jumped. I was like, but this is a funny shirt. And they were like, thank goodness. We were so scared that y'all were going to proposition us like to swing on vacation. Come to find out, their daughter, who was at college, I think at Belmont, I believe, was working as a server at the country club. And they basically confirmed the swinging, like the stories that she had heard inside of that, being a part of that serving world over there.
God.
So the fact that we have created a T-shirt company that has made tens of dollars that can
worldwide.
We say we did this for funny shirts, but we like shirts that are conversation starters. And this literally created a conversation that I had no idea, just because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
That story still sticks out in my mind. It cracks me up.
Yeah. I think one of the stories I heard was like if you have the pineapple upside down in like your grocery cart at the West Haven grocery store, is that means or whatnot?
We've definitely, at some point, we probably need to get you order one West Haven shirt and just go over there and fill up our cart just full of pineapples and just
hang out.
Just see what happens.
Just walk around aimlessly with a grocery cart full of
I don't know what you're talking about. We just like pineapple.
We just really enjoy pineapples, which I do. I mean, that's not even a lie. I love pineapples.
Yeah.
We can have them in all different ways. We can have the full pineapple. We could have like the 4-pack pineapple cups. Like we can have them all in there. Pineapple candy. I'm sure there's pineapple candy we could put in there.
Dole. What's the Dole brand? Or the one that's Hawaiian?
Yeah, Dole. Actually, when we went to Hawaii, we went to the Dole plantation, and I remember being there thinking, why do I not have a West Haven shirt on right now?
You never know. It might hit home that far out there too.
Hey, we're just trying to help build West Haven's brand. That's all we're doing.
That's it. I don't think they really need us to help.
They don't at all. But we're, it goes back to we like to help people, even if they don't want it.
To our core, we're happy to share more because there might be people that desire that kind of neighborhood.
I'm sure they've got great realtors over there, right?
That's a good point.
Cody can help you.
Yeah. Yeah, we have DNA or NDAs that we can have you sign. We just have all the discretion in the world. So,
Yeah, exactly.
well, man, I appreciate your time. This has been super fun. As I mentioned before we recorded this one, I'd love to have you on more often than not. I figured the first one was going to be a little bit structured on the front end to highlight you and insurance and all the good stuff that you're doing. But I appreciate you
Yeah, I'm down. You
taking
just let me know when. I'll jump on.
We'll do it. Yeah, we'll get up there. I need to try to do some in person as well, but this will just kind of easiest for people's schedules. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, anybody that's watching or listening, appreciate you taking the time to listen to the Just Move podcast. Love for any likes or follows or subscriptions or wherever you can find it. Should actually have it on Apple Podcasts, then also Spotify as well. And I'll have it up on YouTube as we get this thing kind of kicked out. But appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Anytime. Just let me know.
All right. I will do. See you later.